to welcome all our students and teachers back to term 2. We started our academic year in April, and how quickly 3 months passed by, and now we have entered into term 2. And term 2, as you know, will end in October. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to thank the very warm welcome according to me this morning. We all know why we have gathered here. It is to celebrate the test and the enterprise week. Enterprise, very important terminology. We must be enterprising in so many different ways, whether running a household or running the country. But individually, how can we make most out of whatever little we have? Now, test subjects, as you are aware of, is really unknown to me. When I heard the word test, I couldn't work it out, what it meant. Because test is associated with exams, assessments. But test here refers to subjects that you do, such as home economics, agricultural science, technical drawing, industrial arts, and it is categorized into this particular group simply because it's a subject which is hands-on. In other words, teaching and learning requires a lot of practical skills. That I understand. But to me personally, we cannot categorize these subjects differently because we do not wish to create either that these subjects are inferior or superior, whichever way. To me, it's just like any other subject, and it affords the same level of attention. Whether a child is studying social science, studying history, English, maths, or agriculture science, or home economics, there should be no differentiation between these subjects. And it is for this reason we will be mainstreaming these subjects into our system and not categorizing it as a separate category of subjects. In this day and age, these subjects play an important role in the lives of our youth and the lives of our students. Because when you learn these skills, you're able to fit into any situation that you are given. You'll become self-sufficient. You'll be able to generate money from these subjects immediately. If you are doing home economics, you can do your baking, you can do your cooking, and you can sell that. That's enterprising. Similarly, from agriculture perspective, you can grow things and sell. So ultimately, these are the subjects that should put money in your pocket. And it's all about how you do it and how interested you are. But let's talk about the importance of this subject, particularly in the new normal. With COVID-19 having a huge impact on each and every country, including Fiji, we have seen that our businesses were closed for many, many months, which is unbelievable. And this is something we are witnessing for the first time. I wouldn't say that we are the lucky ones, we are the unfortunate ones who are seeing such development, health crisis, or you can also refer to climate crisis, including the geopolitical tensions that we see. It's this generation, it's you and I who are watching what is unfolding before our eyes. And all that is having a huge impact on our economy. When the businesses are closed, you can imagine the repercussions towards that.
If the businesses are closed, it simply means people are unemployed. And our Prime Minister, when he was addressing the ILO Global Summit, he clearly stated that 1/3 of Fiji's population were either unemployed or their hours were reduced. And this is during those 2 years that I'm referring to, 2020 and 2021. And during this time, what do you think these unemployed people were doing? What did they rely on to ensure that they were able to put food on the table? They all looked at internally and found some skills that they were born with or they loved doing, but they did not pay attention to those skills because they were in mainstream employment. But when the situation became tough, they were able to identify those skills. And with the help of those skills, they were able to put food on the table. Some ventured out into cooking, catering, others into agriculture, and many more activities took shape around that time. And today there are people who went into this small business venture. Now they don't want to return to mainstream employment because they like the hours, and 2, they are the boss, and 3, they are able to earn more money. So why go back to that job? So you can see what COVID has done. It has started making people think differently. And in this day and age, because of COVID, more businesses are adopting technology in their business because they don't know when we're going to have another crisis and they might have to close their business. So they're adopting more technology. They're making the system automated. Now, when you make your business technology driven and you adopt automation, it requires reskilling of the staff. Even if your system is automated, you still need a human being to manage that whole system. So reskilling is required. And we have seen, this is, if we compare the global crisis we are facing in the last couple of years, compared to what happened in 1918 and 1920 and 1925, during that period, when we had World War II, plus we had another health crisis, the Spanish flu. If you compare that time and you compare it now, there is a huge difference. During that time, there was huge unemployment. People were looking for jobs, they couldn't find job. And today, each and every country is looking for skilled workers, and they cannot find skilled workers. So there is a shortage of skilled workers. But unfortunately, we are not evolving or aligning ourselves with time. When I say we're not aligning ourselves, it's not just the university, it's not just the school system, it's also the parents. We still prefer our children to study and obtain a degree. That's our focus. And we believe that if you're a degree holder, that job is going to pay you more than a skilled worker. That's our perception. But it is wrong. If you Google, you'll come across an article for Australia, and they've listed 6 types of skilled work where individuals can earn more than $100,000 a year, and they don't require a degree. Right. So we need to change our perception, and we should allow our students to pursue what they want to do. or what they're good at. When we nurture our child, we are able to see certain things in our own children. We know what they're good at. And as teachers, I encourage you to allow our children to do what they can do best. If they want to become a mechanic, don't stop them. Encourage them, because that's what they like doing. Imagine pulling them out from that field and making them an accountant. Yes, they will become an accountant, but they don't have passion for that job. And you can only imagine that they will become an accountant because we say so, as parents we say so, but that's not where the interests lie. So we need to ensure that our children do what they prefer doing. And I can tell you, with or without degree, there's certain type of field or certain job market where even people without a degree, just because they have got skills, they do very well. And even if you develop those skills, you can have a pathway to obtain a degree in that particular field too. Not necessarily the usual subjects that we talk about. You can do things differently. And of course, sky is the limit. You should pursue that. And to help you realize your dream, you may have heard the budget which was announced by the Minister for Economy on Friday. And he has allocated a huge budget to the Ministry of Economy and particularly to TELS. The government understands that we have to fill the gaps. If there is a demand for skilled workers in Australia, New Zealand, America, Europe, and also in other Pacific Island countries, our people will be moving out. And if they move out, then what happens to our industry? What happens to our tourism sector? What happens to our businesses? Because they also need skilled workers. So we have to invest money, and we need to encourage our students to pursue studies in those areas. This year, the government allocated $162.5 million, and that's the largest amount ever allocated to TELS. And this money is purely to fund scholarship, study loans and grants. So we will be awarding more scholarship. It means more study loans, and it also means more grants. And this is going to fund about 9,200 students who want to pursue their studies in the next financial year, either through scholarships and loans. And it is entirely up to you as an individual to make the decision which area you want to go. You know, I want to talk to the students. Never ever follow your friends. I've seen that happening quite a bit, because you are good friends and a friend is going to pursue a study in accounting or economics, you want to do the same. Don't do that. You are friends now, but friends keep changing. The same friends will not be there when you enter work market or workforce or workplace. You'll have another set of friends. Remember your primary school friends? Are they with you? Or even the friends you made in the neighborhood, they have moved on. So don't try and choose a subject based on peer pressure or because you want to follow the step of your friends. You know, the area where they want to go. You be who you are and pursue what you want to do. And don't be influenced by others. I do want to emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, that with this increase in budget for TELS, for the first time, overseas scholarship is also offered for TVET courses. Previously, we never ever offered overseas scholarship for TVET courses because it was not regarded as an important field. TVET is often seen as an area for dropouts, for students who are weak in their studies. It creates that discrimination. But the reality is, question yourself, the very car that you sit in, if it stops on the road, who fixes your vehicle? A mechanic. Who gives you life, gives you safety. How can you say that a mechanic or mechanical job is of low level and people who drop out are the ones who do mechanic courses? That is not correct. Even the aeroplanes, we have aviation engineers. FNU offers those courses. This is a different level. It can be a certificate, diploma, or degree level. And some of them, they do these courses and they are maintaining the aeroplanes, a very complex object. We cannot say it is for dropouts. And I should also share the statistics with you. This year we found that more students with over 300 marks, they took studies in TVET area. They took TELS loans to study in that particular field. So we can see a slight change in the way we value or vision TVET courses. So it is changing, but I'm sure the new generation will take it to another level. Now, at the national level, from the Ministry of Education perspective, we are looking at TVET very seriously, and particularly the vocational schools around the country. Over the years, we have found that the vocational schools have not really evolved or changed based on the labor market, based on the jobs that are needed by the businesses, industries, or other sector. It's very static, it's same old, which is just offer fashion design, that's one course, mechanic, and they're very limited courses. Now, we are reviewing the vocational subjects being offered, and we are also reviewing the curriculum. We need to review the curriculum so that we modernize the courses and we make it relevant to this day and age. We cannot continue to prepare our students for the past. We have to take them in the future. For example, it's no point teaching majority of our students and making them mechanics who can only fix, say, Honda or Toyota, when we know on our roads we have more Prius. And in future, we're going to have more electrical vehicles. So how do we prepare our students? How do we prepare our workforce? So one has to be visionary and one has to make that change. And I encourage the teachers as well to give your suggestions. What changes should we bring about in vocational schools? But at the national level, we are also coming up with a policy on TVET, and we have been offered assistance from UNESCO, and through UNESCO, we will be given a consultant to review TVET program offered from school right up to tertiary level. And last week, I did address Fiji Higher Education Commission, and I have clearly stated to them that they need to do sector analysis. They need to look at different types of businesses and say exactly how many baristas do they need, coffee makers, how many chefs do they need, how many mechanics do we need, how many plumbers do we need, how many electricians or machinists do we need? And based on that, we should be able to identify students and then train them so that they are work ready. As soon as they finish their diploma or the courses that they do, they should be absorbed at a workplace. That's how we need to plan our TVET. Not currently the way we are doing it. It needs to change. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and thank you for organizing this week. It is important that we get people together and see the work our students have done through the help of our teachers. And I'm very proud of each and one of you who have been taking these subjects and developing your own creativity, and you were able to put up such a beautiful display. And I will move around and see the work that you have done. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, Vinaka Vakalevu and Dhanyawad.